Alright, traders, a very warm welcome to you all. This is Avril from the Trade Psych, and I welcome you all to the post market analysis, outlook, and expectations from the market for next week and for Monday as well. So, in this video, basically, we'll discuss that how the markets can be for the next week, whether the markets can be bearish or bullish. If bullish, then above what level it be bullish, and if bearish, then below what level it can be bearish. And if at all the markets will be sideways, we'll discuss when the markets will be sideways, in what range the markets will be sideways. Alright, so in this video, we'll discuss the various support and resistance level, the crucial support and resistance level for Nifty, Bank Nifty, and also we'll also do a multi-sectoral analysis. So at the end of the video, by the time we get to know that how the markets are seeing from a 360-degree view, seeing from a bird's eye view, we'll get to know the overall summary of the markets, that how the markets are, what is the overall breadth of the market and overall health of the market, right? And we'll also see that change in OI data, because on Friday we saw a sharp profit booking from the top. So we'll see that whether that profit booking was just on the charts or whether the data has also changed. All right, so let's start the discussion. And as always, right, at till the end of this video, at the end of this, not till the end, at the end of this video, we'll summarize the market, that from my perspective, because the perspective from last 2 to 3 videos, it's suddenly changing when we see the OI data. And the OI data analysis which you do, it is very very crucial, right? So stick to the end of the video, stick till the end of the video, and you'll be able to get a bias, either if at all there is a bias in the markets, whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish, and if at all it's a bullish, then in what case, right? So let's start the discussion, right? So as always, first we discuss the any positive or negative news flows from domestic or global perspective, right? Which can impact the markets in a big way, right? So there's no negative news flow from global perspective. There was, I'm not saying there is, there was a negative positive news flow from domestic perspective, wherein on I think Tuesday and Wednesday it was announced that the trade deal is going to happen between US and India, which is not at all uh, which is, I think USA has done the trade deal with, I think, almost all the countries. Only India is left among the major countries I'm talking about, not talking about all the countries in the world which are available, which are present, right? So what actually happened, right? Why we are seeing profit booking from past 2 days is, see, what happened on Tuesday, right? The news started flowing, and the basically the article from Mint, I'll tell you, it stated that the trade deal is gonna happen. India is gonna cut down the Russian oil imports, but the day this news came, right, I posted on X. I posted on Twitter, which is I posted on X, which was formerly known as Twitter, right? That unless and until you see a official notification from Donald Trump or from India's Prime Minister or India's Trade Body or Trade Minister Piyush Goyal, don't trust any news in the market, because this year, right, it has been very volatile, and the majority of the part, what is affecting the market is news flows. So don't trust any news flow unless and until it's from a verified person. Even from a verified person like a Donald Trump, he also, goes back on his sayings within 1 minute, within 1 day, right? But at least we can trust that entity. At least when he said that, we are gonna apply the tariffs on India, the markets, they fell by 1.5, 2%. He said, when I'm applying tariffs on the whole world, the global market shocked, right? So we can trust the words from a official person. But when there is a news source commenting on a thing which is very sensitive, the markets would react very sensitively to this news. Don't trust that news. And on a side note, if you want to stay updated with all the global and domestic news flows with time to time, please follow me on Twitter. I will leave the link in the description box below. Right. So the day when this news started coming, I posted on that moment exactly that, and everybody on the FinTwit community, everybody on Twitter, they starting posting things like, and even very very nominated, very famous personality from news bodies, they started posting that, Nifty is gonna breach the all-time high, which is 26 370 350, and we are gonna see 27,000 in October itself. Nothing happened. And now people are, people are literally, people are making a fun of people are making fun of him, that why do you comment on such things when they are not true. So that's what. And the moment like everybody on my Twitter timeline, they went ultra bullish. And when everybody is ultra bullish, right, money will not be made on the bullish side. Keep it, mark my words. Right, so I was the only one shouting from the day one, from Wednesday, Tuesday, when this news started coming, and in the anticipation of this news, Gift Nifty went 400 points up. But when slowly and steadily, when the reality came out that this is nothing but just a gimmick. It's the news is bullshit. Nothing has happened as of now. India is still till October last week, October. India is importing the same amount of Russian oil, Russian crude. If you check the data, if you check the official data, and just yesterday, why the markets fell very big, like from I think why the markets fell by 100. If you can see, Nifty is almost 100 point down, Bank Nifty is almost 400 point down. Why it happened? Because there was a meeting which was happening between various trade ministers, foreign ministers of various countries, and Piyush Goyal was also there, India's trade minister, and he said that we will not come into a trade deal with any country who is forcing us and who is pointing a gun towards our head. He's clearly stated that, and that's what I have been posting from day one on X. That please don't trust this news. These news sources. So basically, the main media, everybody is sold off. Everybody is bought off, right? So unless and until it's a official notification, don't trust it. And the exactly same thing happened by again and again saying that trade deal has happened, trade deal is about to happen. They made Gift Nifty open, they made Gift Nifty rise 400, 300, 400 points. But by Wednesday, I think we saw pressure in global equity markets. Due to that, our Indian markets opened only roughly 130, 140 points up. And the people who were expecting that markets will, reach 27,000 in the October itself, everybody just, they they went in their holes hiding, right? So that's what I'm, focusing on. That's what I'm saying, right, to you guys. Don't trust any news which is on the basis of sources, that sources are telling us this, our sources in the government are telling this. Unless and until any official person tweets or posts, don't trust that thing. Even the official people, right, like the president Donald Trump, he tweets, he puts something one day, and he reverses on, and he chickens out, he reverses on that thing the other day. We cannot even trust these official personalities. So how can we trust these news sources? And exactly same happened. And yesterday, Piyush Goyal said that we won't enter into a trade deal agreement when a gun is pointed at our heads. And listening to that statement, it was crystal clear that the trade deal has not been finalized yet. And on the backdrop of it, the markets fell yesterday. Right? So this was one. This was. I'm not saying this is. This was one positive news flow from domestic perspective, but this was now it is not a positive. Unless and until trade deal happens, it's not a positive thing. Right. Now, there is not any negative thing, rather, there is a positive news flow from global perspective. The CPI data which came in Friday in the US, right, because US government is in shutdown. The CPI data which came in Friday, it came as lower than expectation, and now the rate cut from the Fed side is, it's almost, I think, a done deal. It will happen. And seeing that data, the global markets shared. But interestingly, I'll show you guys Gift Nifty. Gift Nifty did not go up. If you see Gift Nifty, only 20 points up, whereas the global markets were almost one and a half percentage of both Nasdaq and both this one S&P and Dow Jones. Both were almost 1%. And generally, when this happens, right, even Gift Nifty shows 80-90 points gap up. But interestingly, Gift Nifty is not that much strong. So Gift Nifty had its weakness. So we can expect some weakness coming in the next week also. But levels will be very crucial. Now we have discussed almost 10 minutes on it. Let's quickly go to the charts and discuss what has happened on Friday, right? And exactly, right. I'll delete pretty much every drawing here now, and we'll straight go to daily time frame. So what happened at this point of time? What happened on Thursday? Wednesday, What market did is it closed a negative candle here, kind of negative candle, not a negative but a pause with a bearish, slightly bearish bias. The news flow, that positive news flow, made the markets open at 26,100, but rather than that, people are expecting it to open roughly near all time high, which is 26,300, but it did not happen. And if you guys watch my videos regularly, right, I specifically told that this is a major top in the market, wherein from the market it slid, the Nifty 50, it slid down almost 15% from this point. So this is a major top. This major top will not be crossed in one touch, in one instance. Either the market has to sustain for a very long time at this point of time and then give a breakout, or either the markets have to take some retracement here and then it has to go out. If it breaks out this level in once, it will be a false breakout. The with with the speed it is, it will go up, harsher it will come down, the more speed it will come down, right? So in the last weekly analysis video also we discussed that this is a very crucial supply point, because I already explained to you guys that if this line is a major resistance, so when this will be first time reached, it will not break in the first time. It will take some resistance. Either it will bounce back again it will take a resistance. It has to either sustain at this point of time, or either it has to give a good pullback and then go. Only in these two cases, big supply zone or big resistances, they break out, right? So what happened in the in the backdrop of it, we opened heavy gap up, and the moment we opened a heavy gap up, the bears or the call seller, they took their opportunity and they sold the calls. And not even in the first half of the market, exactly after, when the markets were after 12:30 p.m, 1:30, 1:15, exactly how I say that the first 1.5 hour is the very volatile time. All the FIs, GIs, they fight against each other, so don't trade in that time. The time from 10:30 to 12:30, 1 o'clock, it's the time for a pause. And just after, when the institutional time starts, it starts at 1:30. So exactly at 1:15 p.m the fall started, and we retraced the whole fall back, the whole gap up. We if I make you guys see, right, this was the whole gap created from, I think, 25,830 till 26,100. So this whole gap got covered exactly at this point, right? I'll make you guys see on 15 minutes time frame. This is what happened on Friday. On Thursday, on Friday, the news came out that yes, there is no there is no news as of now of a trade deal happening, and the markets fell on Friday also. So what happened on Friday? We opened roughly, I think, 30-40 points gap up. We went up, touched 5 minutes 20 EMA and started coming down. And for the whole day, almost we did not go above 5 minutes 50 EMA. So I always say, if you want to follow a downtrend, on 5 minutes follow 50 EMA or 20 EMA. If the markets are above 50 EMA, 20 EMA, don't stay in short for intraday trades. If the markets are below 50 EMA, 20 EMA, so if you constantly see, where we are constantly below 20 EMA, which is the green line, and even for 1 second, even for I think 10-15 minutes, the moment we went above 20 EMA, 5 minutes, we took a resistance from 50 EMA, right? So this is what happened on Friday, and we essentially closed below prior day low. So Thursday's closing was not below prior day low, but yes, essentially this closing is below prior daily low, right? Now, how can we deal with the markets for next week is, let's quickly go to the weekly time frame. And exactly as I mentioned, that this zone, right, from weekly perspective, this red candlestick, why the markets took resistance, because 26,000 is a, firstly, it's a very big psychological zone. Secondly, we have been traveling in bullish territory from past 3 weeks. It was the fourth week. So of course, after 3 weeks, right, the market needs a rest. After 3 weeks of rise, at least 1 to 2 weeks of pause, right? So now, how we can deal with the markets? Now, if you see the weekly candlestick, it's a weekly candlestick, and at the top, near the double top or near to the all-time high, if this candlestick forms, it's a quite bearish sign. It's a quite negative sign. First thing first, right? So this pattern is called shooting star pattern, wherein if the markets are traveling like this, then a shooting star kind of candle forms like this. You can also call it as a inverse hammer, but this is a pattern which generally indicates that yes, a top out is gonna happen. See, if you also gonna see the same thing happened here also, but the next week the moment we also came down till prior weekly low, but a sharp pullback in the second half of the week happened. So we have to be ready for each and every possibility. Now, from the next week perspective, there is no sign of any bullishness as of now. The only bullishness which will come, it will come above 26,100, right? If markets are again taking out 26,100, then markets will be ultra bullish. And how we can trade this move is, I'll tell you on daily time frame. About 26,100, if the market sustain for a daily, for I think 1 hour or 2 hours, this will be as part of your system, that how do you trade. But if we start sustaining about 26,100, we will very soon see 26,300 on the upside. And the moment we break out 26,300, first level which will be seen as 26,500, and the second level which will be seen as 27,000. Alright. For the downside, the only level which bulls have to protect is prior to prior weekly high, sorry, close, and prior weekly low, which is 25,720 exactly. So this level 25,720 is the last second week closing and the last week low. So this will be a very very crucial point now. Right. So now I have always mentioned you the 50% retracement strategy. I will talk about this strategy on this green candle on and on this red candle also. Both of the candles we're gonna talk about. Right. So now what I am anticipating is, since this candlestick is a weak candlestick, it's a negative profit booking candlestick, our bias will be on the downside, but still we will not decide the bias until we see the whole complete market from a overall, from multi-sectoral analysis and from OI change perspective. But from chart, this is a slight profit booking scenario which is coming into the picture, right? And the bulls, they have to protect the level of 24,720. If 24,720 breaks down on the downside, the next level which will be reaching is a 50% retracement of this candlestick, which is the level of 25,420, right? This level 25,420 is the 50% retracement for this candlestick. And why it is important is because I always tell you that if any candle, if any leading candle is covering whether on upside or on the downside, if we are covering the more than 50% of any prior candlestick, then we have a probability that we might go to the 100% retracement for that candlestick. Now the same will go for this red candlestick also. We'll mark that what is the 50% retracement, 25,900, right? So now how to trade these points? See, the next candle, the next weekly candle I am anticipating is, since if at all the markets are not that much bearish, the market should technically take a pause in this range only. And if the markets really want to break out this zone, this complete zone, I'll mark this zone. If the markets really want to break out this zone, the markets really need to sustain around roughly 3 to 4 weeks at this point of time. Then and only will form a pattern, something called like this and this. So this is this sustaining or near the all time high, and then this. The more it sustain near all the all time high, see, if at all we are taking a very strong reversal from all time high, it means that bulls are weak at that point and bears are strong, right? But if at all we are sustaining at this point of time, it means yes, the bulls are about are are comfortably holding this level and we are ready for this one, right? So now the bullish case, when you have to enter into positional longs, is only and only above 26,100. Above 26,100 you can essentially target 27,000 if at all you see a daily closing above 26,100. If at all we start moving below 25,700, swing, because it is prior weekly low, swing shorts can come, but positional shorts will come only below 25,000. Positional shorts will only come below 25,000. Below 25,000 we will definitely see 24,500, 24,000, because 25,000 is a very big round number support. So for the next coming week, the range which I'm expecting is 26,300. If at all we are able to breach the prior weekly high from 26,300 till 25,400 or 25,500. This is the week for next 2 to 3 weeks, and if at all the markets have to trade, markets will trade into this range only. I don't see markets breaking down 25,500 the next week. It might happen next to next week, or it might not happen for a couple of months. But for the next week, the range I am anticipating is this one, which I have just told you now, right? So now, in what case we have to initiate shorts? Let's go to, so these will be the crucial support and resistance zones. So let's go to daily time frame. All right. So from daily perspective, we have closed below prior daily low, uh, which has technically given the opportunity to us to short the markets. But last time when we did it at this point of time, the day market, we short, like as per our system we short the markets because it is our strategy to short the markets if at all we are closing below prior daily low. But what happened exactly, we got trapped. So there is a possibility that we might also get trapped here. So the only way to know this is that the markets are turning around is the level of 25,900, because this is the 50 percentage of the red weekly candlestick we have seen. If we are crossing the level of 25,900 and we are closing a daily candlestick above it, it is a high probability that we might reach 26,100 and above that level, right? So in what case you have to initiate swing longs is only and only above 25,900. Positional longs initiate above 26,100. Swing longs, if at all we close one 3 hourly candlestick or one daily candlestick above 25,900, that it means that yes, we are gonna go till 26,100 back again, right? So prior daily low and I think prior weekly low is also the same. The Friday's low is also the same. So if Friday's low is breached, so the first level which you will see on daily time frame is, so swing, okay. Now the no trading range will be this one. This will be bigger range when we see it on the time frame, but no trading range will be from 25,720 to 25,900, 180 points range, or you can say 920 only, 200 points range. Don't trade in this range. If at all we start moving about 25,920, aim for 26,100, a small pause, and then 26,300 and then 27,000. Trade like that. Simple. If at all we are breaching 25,720, initiate a small bearish trade till 25,500. But since 25,500 is a major breakout level, if at all the markets will come at that point, we have a probability that we might take a bounce, small bounce from this point of time. So if you are shorting on the break of 25,720, don't forget to book your shorts at 25,500. From this perspective, we also last week we also discussed that this is a channel which technically markets broke out, and from the breakout retest theory, whenever a trend line is broken out like this, it has to first retrace it and then go back. So its retracement kind of technically is coming at this point of time, at this level. I am not anticipating a full retracement. I am expecting a retracement till this level. So if you see the markets around 25,500 or 420 or 400, try to exit your shorts and try to sit for a while. And if you see any bullish price action on early time frame, then initiate some longs here for this move. That's it. I'm not saying that if you short till 25,720, hold your shorts till 24,000 or 23,000. I'm not saying that, because whenever we go down, we have a good support. We have a support of this trend line. We have a psychological number support which is 25,500. So if you are initiating a small, and I said on weekly time frame that if swing shorts have to come, they have to come below 25,000, not below 25,500 but below 25,000. If at all they have to come, sorry, not swing shorts, positional shorts. Swing shorts will definitely come below 25,720. If at all we break, keep the swing shorts. Swing shorts matlab, by swing I mean is for from the perspective of 2 to 3 days till 1 week or one and a half week. So you can keep your shorts here, but you have to book your shorts because this zone is a high demand zone, right? Now, if you notice one thing, that the markets were roughly in a very sideways phase at in this range in this point of time, but markets have stopped going sideways now. Either markets sharply move up, sharply move down, sharply move up, sharply move down. That's what the markets are essentially doing. The markets are not at all remaining sideways. The markets are trending nowadays. So the markets have changed a little bit in a structural perspective, right? So I'll delete this trend line. So if we break 25,720, you have to trail your stop loss till 25,500 or 25,420. But you have to book at 500, 420 because it will be a demand zone. Right? Let's go to hourly time frame, or rather, from hourly time frame, I wanted to show you guys one thing. Since we were talking about a trend line, a resistive trend line from the top, we also have a supportive trend line which is coming from the bottom, and whose support is coming at 25,400. Sorry, not at 25,400. If at all we keep continuing this trade, the support will be coming around roughly at 25,550 or 500. We might break down this trend line, but this is a support, so we can do this price action. So the moment we hit, because trend lines are working in a very beautiful way, I'll make you see on the bank nifty. So if this retracement happens, plan to exit your shorts and sit for a while, and the moment you see any bullish price action in 1 hour, enter the bullish trade. Simple. So ultra aggressive shorts will only come below 25,000 now. That's for sure. And the moment we'll break 25,000, it will be a very very good down rally till 24,000 and 23,000. But unless and until that happens, you have to keep calm. You don't have to go aggressively bearish, right? Let's discuss on the basis of opening that how we can open. All right. See, if at all we are opening a very big gap up, my bias will be on the upside, will be on the buy and dip, because the people who will be who has who have shorted the market here, if the markets open a big gap up, they will feel trapped. For once the market might come down to cool down the gap, and again again the markets can go on the upside. If at all the markets are opening a big gap down, I'll not be interested in shorting the markets, because in a good bull run, this is a good bull run, in a good bull run, gap downs generally they have a habit of being bought off. If we are opening a gap down roughly around here, I'll wait for the market to retrace this. I'll not enter, because the moment we open a good gap down, we will be approaching the demand or support levels. So the moment markets open gap down, a big gap down, don't try to chase the market, right? Levels I have already mentioned you. All right, so no trading zone for you guys will be from 720 till 920. This will be the no trading zone. Above it you have to go intraday bullish. Above 26,000 you have to go swing bullish. Above 26,300 you have to go positional bearish. Below 25,720 you have to go intraday bearish. Below 25,420 you have to go swing bearish, and below 25,000 you have to go positional bearish. All right, getting the context, these were the levels. Now coming to the bank nifty part. So bank nifty has made a more negative candlestick, and bank nifty, because it is very natural, because bank nifty has been running very strongly from past 3 weeks, and bank nifty tried to bottom out using a very famous pattern which is called a double bottom W pattern, and this W got completed here, and this was an extra breakout due to the news flow. Simple. Now simple strategy in bank nifty: 58,500 on the upside and 57,500 on the downside. That's it. This is the no trading zone for you. Above this we can definitely hit 60,000. Below this, I think from my perspective, it will be a good sharp downfall in Bank Nifty. Below 57,500, 57,000 will be the first target, and we'll also apply the 50% retracement to this thing also. So the 50% retracement, it is at 57,000 exactly, right? So this is the level of 57,000, and since it's a very big psychological number, psychological level, it can act as a good support on weekly time frame. But ultra bears will only and only come below prior weekly low, which is, oh sorry, ultra bears will only come below 57,000. If at all we breach 57,000, 56,000 can come in no time. All right, we'll go to daily time frame. Daily time frame, Bank Nifty has closed way below prior daily low. So technically, in Bank Nifty, you can, my bias will be sell on rise even if we open a decent gap up on Bank Nifty, because we have a good resistance here at 58,200. All right. From daily perspective, I think the price action is quite negative. The candlestick which has closed is a quite negative candlestick. So the level which you have to take care is 57,500 only. If 57,500 is getting breached, 57,000 will be the first level, but I think one support will come at 57,000, because 57,000 is a good support zone, right? So next weekly range for Bank Nifty I'm anticipating from is, I don't think that 56, 58, 600 Bank Nifty will breach at least next week, because it is an all time high. If a resistance has taken from that point, it will not be easy to break this point. That's it, right? Let's go to hourly time frame. And hourly time frame, right? I mentioned in my group that this is a trend line resistance, trend line support, and Bank Nifty, because the people in my community, they were short in Bank Nifty. And I mentioned this on, if possible I would have shown you, but I cannot show my telegram messages here. But if I mentioned that if Bank Nifty comes at this trend line, it will take a support, and exactly took it. Right. So what next? What lies next for Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty is at a very supportive trend line. If this trend line breaks down, means it will break down at the breakdown of 57,500. We can expect a down move like this. Right. So for to catch the down move, you have to wait unless and until we see a daily closing below 57,400. And this time, why we have not shorted even after the markets have closed on the downside? This is how we learn, because last time we did short below prior, when the markets closed below prior daily, we carried short. Monday the markets opened gap up and everybody was trapped. So now we will change our system a little bit. We will short the markets when the low of the candlestick which closed below prior daily low is breached. So technically, when this low is breached, 57 450 or 57 500, then and only we'll short the Bank Nifty. Let's go to 15 minutes time frame. So I'll tell you, no trading range would be 58,000 and 57,400. This will be the no trading range for you guys. Do not range up above 58,000. If at all the markets reach, it will be very easy for the markets to achieve 58,500 and then all time high again. This is legit 50 percentage of this rally, 58,000, and it is again a psychological number. So intraday bullish only above 58,000, swing or positional swing slash positional bullish above 58,630, intraday bearish below 57,500, and swing bearish below 57,000, positional bearish below 56,000. Below 56,000, Bank Nifty can go way ahead. Below 56,000, right? Bank Nifty can easily achieve 55,000, 54,000, and 52,000, right? I'll be more interested in Bank Nifty if at all a flat to negative opening happens. Let's discuss these both OI data, that what the OI data has been found, and with the combined OI data, a change in OI data will also discuss that what change in OI data has been found, right? So, all right. I don't know why I just this much aggressive, right? If you guys remember last time also, we discussed the same thing. Too much aggressive put writing was there, and the markets fell. This is very much aggressive call writing. So somebody will going to be trapped. Now, if they are retailers, they will be badly trapped because if you see the call OI addition, it's almost 4.6 CR, and put OI addition is only 61 lakh. Almost 8 times of shorts have been added compared to longs in the market. And the majority number of shorts which have been added are at 26,000, 25,900, and 25,800 also. And 25, but it means that people have gone in the money. The market is at 795, still people have written 750, 45 points in the money. It shows that yes, there is something which the big money knows, which negative. Or I'm not sure because in the anticipation of maybe rate cut, sorry, CPI data, they might have took. So this is very aggressive. And if at all this data would have been like 4 CR addition of shorts and 2 CR addition of longs, then it would have been a very apt data. But this kind of aggressive short, it makes me worried because whenever the aggressive writing is there, the side which is very aggressive, it usually tends to get trapped. So when will they get trapped? About 25,900. About 25,900, these all bunch of call sellers will get trapped and they will exit, and the markets will be poised for 26,100 and 100, 26,100 if it gets crossed. I think 350, 500, 726. It will be a piece of cakewalk, right? But yes, nonetheless, data is very, very bearish, right? And let's see if it's the only case with the monthly expiry, or this is the case with other expiry also. Even for 4th November, almost thrice the amount of shorts have been added. 11th of November, 11th of November. Can you see the data? I'm just not able to anticipate this. So I think from 25,900 till I think even in the monthly expiry of November, 25,800, 900, 26,000. So the shorts have been added from 28th October expiry till monthly expiry. And even in 11 November expiry, if you see, right, this is the most aggressive shorts I can see. It is like 5x amount of shorts. The data is very bearish. OI data, change in OI data is very bearish. We'll look at total open interest for October monthly expiry. Huge addition of shorts. Oh my god, the PCR is 0.57. This is very bearish. Considering the part that there are good number of long in 25, 800, 700, and 600 and 500. My god. Very aggressive data. Very bearish data. Yes. The data is bearish. Let's go to Bank Nifty. Change in OI. Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I forgot. Rollovers are happening. So technically, so what happens is at the end of any monthly expiry, what they do is they people roll over the positions. So there is unwinding happening at this point of time. So we'll see in 4th November that the rollover has happened or not. Shorts have been rolled over, and even in 11th, that's why we saw each and every expiry. Longs have also been rolled over, but yes, shorts have been also more shorts have been rolled over to monthly expiry. See, now this is a balanced data. This is not much aggressive data, but this is on the bearish side. But seeing the monthly expiry now, it is very much near. There was no sense to add this much short. So if they are added, it means they're gonna make the market fall. That's the only interpretation of that. Bank Nifty, if at all you guys see, right, good amount of shorts have been added at 57,000 and good amount of longs have been added at 58,000. So from the next month's perspective, for Bank Nifty, people are playing this range 57,000 and 58,000, right? Nifty. Total open interest in Nifty is the last level to protect is 25,700, and if you want to see 25,700 call option, sorry, put option is this one, 44 points put option for 20th expiry. So once the markets break below 660, 670, I think it will be a bloodbath till 25,500. That's what my interpretation says, and there is a big unwinding at 25,000, almost 44 lakh of orders. Now, not sure if this the person who has unwinded this, whether they have written this to 25,500 or whether they have added this to 25,700. What I mean by this is I'm not sure whether the the person who has unwinded the quantity from here, they have added back at this or they have gone home. If they have gone home, means they have taken the loss or they have booked the profit, and now the stance is very less. The bullish stance gets reduced. Right? Interesting data. Total open interest for monthly expiry also. Bank Nifty. So I doubt that 58,000 will be broken in Bank Nifty. The last support is at 57,500. Below 57,500 you will achieve 57,000, and below 57,000 it will be a carnage in the markets. Change in open interest is very bearish, but I see that if the change in open interest, yes, rollovers are happening. Yes, that's true. Why we are seeing this much bearish data is because the longs which were there in the market, they have booked the longs, they are shifted to the next expiry at 57,000, 58,000, and they have kept the call sell positions. That's it. So what the market is saying is they have booked the one side of the leg of their strategies, and if at all they would have only booked, then it would have been fine, but they have also added the shorts. It means that yes, they are gonna make the markets fall in near monthly expiry. My anticipation, that's what my read of the data says. Right, it's almost 43 minutes, so let's quickly go and discuss the overall this one, right? Sorry. Yeah. All right, Nifty has closed over prior weekly high. So Nifty IT has closed over prior weekly high. Nifty IT remains strong, and this is essentially what we talked about in the last week also. That Nifty IT might bottom out, and Nifty Bank, because Nifty IT and Nifty Bank both move in opposite direction, so they both can go opposite. So Nifty Bank can top out and IT can be positive. And even if you see on Monday, right, at the last, if time permits, I'll show you one thing. Nifty Auto bearish closing. So for Nifty IT, you can keep a buy and dip approach unless and until this prior weekly low is breached, which is 35,000. You can keep a buy and dips opportunity in Nifty IT. In Nifty Auto, it's trying to remain sideways, so maintain this range in Nifty Auto. If so, Nifty Auto is on a pause. No buy or sell recommendation here. IT can be buy and dips. Nifty Metal looks very strong, and Nifty Metal is now The story has just only started. We saw a breakout, we are seeing a retest and the continuation. So keep a stance as buy on dips for Nifty Metal also, but be a little bit cautious as it might form the triple top also. So keep a close eyes on the level of 10,000 for Nifty Metal. So buy on dips on Nifty Metal, on Nifty IT, Nifty mid caps. Same, the weekly Nifty mid cap 150. The weekly candlestick is very very negative. It's a proper shooting star candle. Unless and until we cross back up against 22,000, don't go bullish. Maintain a pause approach, and below 21,800 maintain a sell on rise approach. Same I think will be the scenario. Okay, but small caps have exhibited a stronger part, but mid caps, right, they have done their run. Small caps have not restored till. Okay, so I'm remembering a very good pattern in small caps. Generally what happens is these all these candlesticks are weak candlesticks, green candlesticks, right, and this can get retraced one day. So yes, the data is bearish and they are planning to dump small cap and mid caps. And even if week on week, if you see, a very good strength was here, good strength was there, strength reduced and strength reduced by a great extent. So the next week can be very very bearish for mid caps and small cap. There can be a good down move in mid caps and small caps. Alright, so we have analyzed the OI data, we have analyzed the complete multi-sectoral picture, and from my perspective, the next week, right, it can remain sell on rise with Nifty mid caps and small caps, because Nifty IT is the only sector which can support the markets. That was happening on Friday also. Friday, if you go and see, you can compare the relative strength of the Nifty IT index. While the Nifty was falling, the IT stocks they were going up, right? So after seeing all the data, I think till Nifty monthly expiry, markets can be in pressure. But once that expiry happens, it will be very essential to see that what data gets built after that. Alright traders, this was it. The key levels for Nifty will be 25,720. Below 25,720 you can target 25,500, but 25,500 can be a good support. So be a little bit cautious about your shorts if you are in the shorts at 25,500. And on the upside, 26,900 or 25,900 will be a crucial level, if at all, because that's the 50% percentage retracement of prior red, this current week's red candlestick. If we cross 25,900, 26,100 will be an easy move. Above 26,100, 26,300, 350 will be very easy. Above 26,300, 27,000 will be a piece of cakewalk. That's it. That's all you need for the next week's trading. I hope you have got an understanding that how the next weeks can be, what will be some of the crucial levels, and what bias now we have from the sectoral analysis and wide data analysis. Cheers. Be safe in the markets. Good evening.